Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at the news that Lost Origin is apparently getting a pretty large reprint. Now, I've been hearing rumblings about this over the past week or so from various places, some of which has just been kind of a quick word in the ear, nothing I can share unfortunately, but there have been some people who have shared a little bit more, like Pokemon Deals Community over on Twitter, who said, breaking news, Lost Origin booster boxes are slated to reprint in mid-July. This will be a fairly large reprint as purchase orders will have a 20 case limit. That is 120 boosters per store. Booster boxes, obviously not booster packs. 120 booster packs would not be many. This probably means we will see a massive restocks from big box retailers as well. This could end up really flooding the market with Lost Origin, and this is awesome. Now, one thing that's really important to note here, this isn't official because Pokemon don't do this. Pokemon don't come out and make a big announcement going, hey, we're reprinting this. Now, sometimes they have actually come out with some sets and gone, look, we know that this is selling out super quickly. There are reprints coming. So, for instance, over in Japan recently, we had Clayburst sold on a lottery. But before that happened, Pokemon basically came out and said, look, we're reprinting, and we're probably going to do Clayburst on a lottery as well, which they obviously actually did. We've seen some stuff like that in the West as well. But general reprints like this is not the kind of thing that is generally announced by Pokemon. So what we basically have is some distributors are told, and then some of them spread the word, and some of them don't, and it all ends up being a little bit of rumor, a little bit of hearsay, but actually it's one of those where you hear it from enough different people, and it becomes very, very believable. But important note here, in the absence of an official statement from Pokemon, we do need to leave it in the unconfirmed column until it actually happens. Now, this might be surprising to some people because, of course, right now you can go over onto the Pokemon Center US, onto the official website, and you can buy a booster box of Lost Origin at retail. I've told you this a few times, but worth repeating. Some people will claim that the retail price of a booster box is less than this. It's not. There isn't actually an official retail price for a booster box because booster boxes aren't really intended to be sold as booster boxes. They're intended to be sold as individual packs after being opened, although we all know that booster boxes are sold routinely, even by Pokemon themselves. But basically what that means is that the retail price of a booster box is $3.99 per pack, times by 36 packs, which of course comes out as exactly $143.64, which of course is exactly what we see coming in here. Not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen, not a coincidence at all. So that's the deal. It's still available over there. But if you go and look on the UK website, the UK Pokemon Center, it is not available. It is showing us out of stock. It's not there. Will that come back? I don't know. And that's actually an important thing to note about a reprint like this, about a restock like this. We never know exactly how wide-ranging it is, so it could well be that there is a big reprint, big restock coming over in the US, yay, celebrate, etc. But then when we have a look at the UK and Europe, it doesn't happen. Again, I don't know the extent of this, and it's awkward, right? Because nobody really knows the extent of this. Because even the distributors that are being told and being allowed to order new products, well, there'll be distributors that cover a particular area. So they'll be getting information, but it's information that pertains to their particular area, and that is where it does get a little bit awkward. But hopefully that means that over here in the UK, that we're going to be able to go and get some Lost Origin product as well, and it will go back on the Pokemon Center, and everybody will be happy. That would be lovely, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. That would be absolutely lovely. Now, I did have a look at this and I went, well, all right then. Where are we at the moment in terms of price of booster boxes? And the answer is, we are basically at the price of booster boxes. Now, if you have a look on eBay, they actually tend to be slightly above retail. The going rate tends to be about $150, which is, as mentioned, a few dollars above above retail price. But then again, it is worth noting that shipping, so that kind of makes sense. And then, of course, you can just go on the Pokemon Center, at least in the US, and you can pick it up quite nicely and quite easily, and jobs are good. And over in the UK, and do bear in mind, I did tell you that the UK Pokemon Center currently not stocking them. So if we go and have a look over on eBay UK, these can actually be picked up a little bit lower. So, for instance, we got a couple of listings in a row here for 115 and 112. You can get these in the UK for like 110, 115. What that means is the price of Lost Origin hasn't really started building yet. And this is one of the weird things about this reprint of Lost Origin, which is supposedly coming. I'm not sure it's necessarily needed. Now, putting my business hat on for a while, I have mentioned several times that I've taught business for many, many years. This was probably put into place a while ago, and it's one of those things where, well, you plan it, and you say it's going to happen, and then you might not necessarily need it, but of course, you had to put it in place a long time before. So, all I can tell you here is, this is probably going to be the last one. I don't know. This is complete supposition on my part. Let's be perfectly clear. But if I was Pokemon, and I was looking around at the current market price, and come on, there are people at the Pokemon company who do this just like I do. I don't do it for Pokemon, obviously I do it for myself, but there have to be people at Pokemon tracking this stuff. They can see, just like I can, that Lost Origin is not a set which is spiking in price right now. It's not one we really need a reprint of. So if I were Pokemon at least, I would not be planning any more reprints. This would probably be enough for the moment. Of course, we could look at some sets like Battle Styles, for instance. Battle Styles has been out for a long time. Battle Styles is basically 2 years older than Lost Origin, and you can still pick up booster boxes on eBay all day long for $115. Worth noting that it wasn't that long ago they were $100, or sometimes even less. So that is starting to creep up a tiny bit here, but let's make no bones about this. This is not exactly a set right now. Battle Styles is not a set that's going ridiculous. And Lost Origin is honestly not going ridiculous. It is hovering at about retail. If we are getting this big reprint, then that is actually going to help bring it below retail for a while. Because, supply and demand dictates. If there is decent demand but nothing amazing, and all of a sudden there is a massive injection of supply into the marketplace, i.e. a big reprint, then that is going to bring the price of Lost Origin down quite dramatically. We could be seeing booster boxes at about 110, 120 for a little while, which would be awesome. And I will say, we're not expecting many more of these if this does happen. So if you do see Lost Origin starting to dip in price quite dramatically, if this does turn out to be true, which I've heard from a few different places now, really does seem to be legit, worth pointing out that it's time. This is the time to pick it up, because I wouldn't expect another big reprint, and then of course after that the prices will start going up, and once they start going up properly, they're never coming down. And let's not forget that Lost Origin does have a big chase card in it. It's got Giratina. That alternate art Giratina is a very big chase card. Now, it's currently out of stock over on TCG Player, but if we look at the trend over the past year, it started off as a $220 card, briefly spiked up, came back down lower than it was initially, but it's now sitting at about a $320 card. And we've reached the point with this card where, well, bearing a big reprint of the set, it's not going to come back down. Now, I'm not saying that a big reprint will affect the singles price, but I am saying there's a decent chance that happens. So again, if you're looking for a single of this, if you're looking to pick this one up for your collection, keep an eye over the next few weeks. Mid-July is when it's supposed to be happening. if we do get a big reprint, as seems to be happening, that may well start bringing down the price of singles. If it does start bringing down the price of singles, then that means that is going to be the best chance to pick up Giratina, because just like the booster boxes, it will start going up again, and it's never coming down. The other super weird one for me is the Aerodactyl, and look, I love the artwork on this Aerodactyl. Artwork-wise, it is a stunning card, you will hear no argument from me. But this is not a card that should be, it's currently a $120 card, and it's been pretty stable, honestly, for since it came out. Huge spike up, brief fall, and it is actually falling, but it's falling very, very slowly. And the reason this makes no sense is because if there was a good reason for this card to be super expensive, it would be super expensive in Japan. There are a few of these alternate arts from latter Sword and Shield sets which are too expensive and make no sense, because it's not like that in Japan. I can't explain it. It's weird. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's the best explanation I can give you. I know it's not a great one. Sorry about that. So there we go. That's Lost Origin. Seems like we're getting a big reprint, seems like it's coming in mid-July, and I, for one, am very excited. And if you've been looking to pick up Lost Origin or any of the singles, make no mistake about it, this might end up being your last good chance. You have been warned. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know your thoughts on Lost Origin, whether you've bought enough, whether you want to pick up more, anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Peter Laurentian. I'm really sorry I've not pronounce that name, Peter. Please, if I pronounced your name badly, please do let me know. But they are our newest Patreon, and I am very happy to see them come in. So thank you very much for the support. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.